I get to make my favorite Pokemon ever, and it's the Squirtle Squad's boss, the Squirtle boss. Besides having those pretty sweet glasses, this sprite is also shiny. Just like in the lore video, a little bit of mischief happened. While I was doing the tape press step, I got a little too excited on the edges, and I kinda messed up Squirtle's hand. Thankfully, it was just his nubby little fingers that got messed up right here, you can see. Over here in Bead Search, you can see right where I messed it up. It was this little nub right there. Thankfully it was just the hand, because it would have sucked if it was a lot more. But that also didn't stop me from getting a little confused on my colors in the end. You can see me moving the beads around a little bit right here, because I accidentally swapped a couple of the blueberry cream perlers for the robin's egg perlers, so I had to swap them back. But it was a quick fix, and I got it all done right here. To all my fans out there that have tryptophobia, I'm sorry poking all these holes makes you stress out, but it relaxes me. Lots of people say they can never poke all the holes because it's so tedious and takes too much time. But it's easy to just put on some music and relax. By the end of all the effort, you end up with an amazing perler, so in my opinion, why not? Once that's all done, I just give it the old one-handed flipper. You definitely wouldn't catch me doing that with the evolution perler. Before I lay the parchment paper down, usually what I do is I end up looking over the perler to make sure all the beads are in place and there's none that are off center. Then I grab my parchment paper, I lay it right on top, and I wait for the iron to heat up. Remember when I told you in my Gengar video that I like sprites that are just about the same size as my heat press? Well, Squirtle Boss here is perfect for that. Don't get me wrong, I love making the big ones and they look super cool. But the little ones you can get the best melts on, in my opinion. All the beads heat up and melt at the exact same time and point. It's perfect. You can end up closing every single bead on one of these. But you can also get kind of anxious and overmelt really easy, because once these small ones start melting, they go real quick. After I remove the parchment paper right here in this shot, I realized that I missed a couple beads on his foot, so I slapped the parchment paper back on it and remelted it just to be sure to get those beads. It can be difficult to use such a large heat press to get those small beads and not ruin the rest of your perler, so if you end up doing this yourself, please be very careful. However, I got all the beads, and just look at this melt. It's so good. Once it's cooled, it's time for me to remove the tape. Generally, when I start my tape pull, I start in the direction that the tape is laying. So if I place the tape horizontally, I go horizontally, or vertical, vertical. That way it ends up being easier to pull off one giant piece of tape off your Pokemon Perler Bead design, and it won't just keep coming off in little ribbons. Or as you're pulling it off, sometimes you get little bits that stay behind. It's because as you're removing the tape, you're not going with the tape as you laid it down, you're going the opposite way. Anyways, if you enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my channel and turn your comments into Pokemon Perler Bead designs like Squirtle Boss. Okay, bye!